Hello everyone, this is Farrakhan. In this video I'll be talking about buying and renovating a townhouse. My fiance and I bought a townhouse from 1901 here in The Hague in the Netherlands. So in this first part of the series I'm going to be talking about why we went for this house, but also what kind of renovations we did, and this will be talking about the first 8 weeks of the renovation, so it will give you a little bit of an image on what can happen in those 8 weeks, but also any tips and tricks that I've learned throughout this journey. So hopefully it will help you whenever you buy either an old house or a house here in the Netherlands. So let's jump right into it. Let's jump right into the video. What you're seeing right now is the living room, the before and the after. As you can see, the left side of the wall has been taken out, and more about that later in this video. Let's start at the very beginning. The August 8th, 2023. This is the first time we visited the house. Before this we visited quite a lot of other houses. I think we've been busy for about a year. Visited about 15 houses probably. But every time we visit a house I make sure to record a video, and I think with this one it's also really about feeling. So feeling that a house is really the right fit for you. But I do definitely recommend to create a top 3 priority of things that you definitely want. For us it was living in the city center, having some kind of outside space, so whether it's a terrace, a garden or a balcony. And then the third one was having at least 80 square meters. This house is about 115 with a terrace of about 20. So it was much bigger than we even were looking for. And then immediately fast forward 3 months, we purchased the house. All of that was quite an easy process after our offer was accepted. Before we got the keys, 2 weeks before, I went to make an appointment at the archive of the Hague municipality to check some architectural drawings to see any of the support beams. So whether we can take off the wall in between the kitchen and the living room or not. So we're house owners now. We got the keys on a Tuesday, and on Wednesday the contractors immediately started to break the house, I would say. So that process was really fast. It was really nice that they could start right after we got the keys, the day after. So on Wednesday afternoon, the wall between the living room and the kitchen was already taken out. We also wanted to get rid of this second fireplace, so they already started breaking that, but later on they realized it's not a fake one and it's actually used by the neighbor downstairs. So definitely my suggestion is to always double check this, even if you have contractors. As you can see, the wall's taken out and so much more light is coming into the living room, which is really nice, and the kitchen is still kept in place there at that time. So here's another shot of the second floor and where normally the door is, but right now because the wall's taken out we are going to build a window, which will probably be for a later video. All of the floor has been taken out because we decided to do floor heating, because with this will not only free up more space, but it will also improve the energy label, and will also be a nice investment where we decide to sell the house later. So regarding the kitchen, as I said earlier, we wanted to keep the kitchen actually because it was quite a nice kitchen what they had before, but it was already 10 years old and it was not really in our style. So even though we did not anticipate buying a new kitchen, we eventually decided still to do this. Definitely not my favorite part because it takes so much time and it's so difficult to imagine how a new kitchen would look like. That's why I actually created from scrap materials this look-alike kitchen of how it would look like. So here it's kind of like this is how the kitchen island will be, the right measurements and sizes, and I think this really helps in understanding whether, at least to a certain extent, how the kitchen would look like and feel like, and I think that really helped in deciding how we want the kitchen to be. So in this process we went both to Germany, to in the Netherlands. We watched to check the wooden flooring and everything. The issue is that if you want a really nice kitchen, you'll spend at least 30 to 35k, because the margins that those kitchen stores make are insane. So eventually what we decided is to buy everything separately. I won't cover that in this video, but probably in the next video, where and how we decided to eventually choose the kitchen. Back to the house, so we added arches between the living room and the dining room, and here I'm busy with trying to get rid of the paint on the wooden beams upstairs. I used ultra stripper for this, so this is a very harsh material, and I thought if I put it on there it will easily fall off. Well, that was not the case. Even after a heat gun, this took me about 2 hours to get rid of some of the paint, and then this is about 3 hours later, and then eventually about 4 hours later. So finally there's the wooden beams available there. So definitely not something I recommend. For the kitchen islands, the electricity has been put there and water supplied. A new wall has been added, or at least some isolation, to the study room upstairs. And we're already in week 6 right now, where all of the finishing of the arch comes. And in between, the contractors are looking for any defects of the house, because I think that's one of the things that definitely is the case when you buy an old house, is that there's always something wrong, and renovations are continuous. So it has a lot of character, of course, but do keep in mind that whenever you buy a house that's more than 100 years old, you're going to have some windows that are, for instance, broken, or walls that are really not straight. And the fireplace has been repaired here, as you see. So we're now in January 6. What we decided on is to buy the corpus, so just the cabinets from IKEA, and get all of the rest separately. So we're going to buy the oven separately, the stove, the fronts, and I think that's one way to kind of save costs, because it's either you have more money or you buy everything separately and you can still buy kind of what you want. Same for these were a little bit easier with the heat gun, trying to get out all of the paint, which is quite satisfying, as you can see here. But after doing this for more than 4 or 5 days, it gets really boring and a very tough task. All of the wood, or at least most of the wood, has been taken out there. And then we are here in week 7. So they're adding these panels to the floor. It's called fermacel. These panels are where the floor heating pipes are coming in. 2 men came, did this in about a day. Very heavy machinery, making a lot of noise. It's quite interesting to see how they did this, and all of the pipes will be coming in here. So all of the rooms, both upstairs and downstairs, will have floor heating around the kitchen islands, because it's not allowed to be below that. And as you can see, throughout the entire living room, all of these maze-like tubes have been made. So that's most of it, and also of course replacing the central heating boiler. These are the old wooden floors, the parquet floor. The annoying thing is that I had to keep moving those around to make sure to make enough place for the workers to do the floor heating. So this is a very quick video on the first 7-8 weeks of the renovation. There's so much more to talk about, but gives you a little bit of an understanding on what I've been doing. So this is the first part of a series about buying and renovating a townhouse. So this first part is really about demolishing the wall between the dining room and the kitchen, and then building all of the arches downstairs, and then also starting with the whole floor heating, and in between deciding whether we want to keep the old kitchen or go for a new kitchen. We eventually decided to go for a new kitchen for 2 reasons. One is because we took out the wall in between, is that we wanted an open kitchen with a kitchen island. which means that we would have needed to buy a separate kitchen island, which will not match the old kitchen style, which we also didn't like. So it was either making a decision on keeping the old kitchen, getting a kitchen island for now for maybe a year until we save up money, and then get the kitchen that we really want. But as advised by a lot of people, is that once you're in renovation, and I can definitely tell it, is that it's a mess. So while you can do it right now. So one of the reasons why we didn't want to get a new kitchen is because of the cost, because even a simple kitchen, and that is in Germany, would cost us about 15,000 euros. That was a lot of money. So what we eventually decided on is to buy the cabinets separately from IKEA, buy the front separately, and also buy all of the appliances separately. So more on that in the next video, where I will talk through about how we're able to get a kitchen that we exactly like for probably half of the money, because the kitchen that we want, with all of the materials that we chose, with the appliance that we chose, I think at a normal kitchen store you will pay about 35k for it, but I think once I break down the cost, what we will pay is about 15 to 20k, and also over time. So first we're buying the cabinets. Whenever we have again saved up money, we can buy the fronts, etc, etc. But more about that in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for part 2. Peace.